Welcome to the deep dive, everyone. So glad you could join us for this one. Because, well, imagine spending the last 10 years of your life, right, building this massive, brightly lit billboard.
Oh, right. On, like, the busiest highway in the world.
Exactly. The busiest highway, you've optimized the colors, you've paid top dollar for this prime real estate, and you have this dedicated team just constantly polishing the glass.
Right, just maintaining it.
Yeah, you own that top spot. But then you wake up and you find out the city just finished an underground bypass tunnel.
Yeah, and nobody's looking up anymore.
Exactly. Your billboard is still standing tall. I mean, it's still perfectly designed. But a third of the traffic is suddenly taking this new tunnel. They're never even looking up at the sky to see your sign.
It's brutal, but it's exactly what's happening.
It is. Welcome to June 24, 2026. Because on this exact date, June 24, 2026, the traditional blue link search landscape is undergoing, well, it's a mass extinction event.
Yeah, that's really the only way to phrase it. It's an extinction event.
Right. And if you rely on digital visibility to survive, the ground beneath your feet has fundamentally fractured. So, in this deep dive, our mission is to unpack this exact moment. We are looking at the SEO Daily Technology Report compiled by the Keyhawk ASR bot fleet specifically for June 24th, 2026.
And, looking at that report, it is just a profound structural revolution. I mean, the tectonic plates of the internet have shifted entirely.
Yeah.
And we are seeing these massive enterprises and solo creators alike just trying to navigate this new topography using maps that are hopelessly obsolete.
Obsolete maps that lead right off a cliff, honestly, because as of June 24, 2026, the entire concept of the quote-unquote search engine is officially a legacy term.
Right. We aren't doing search anymore.
No. We are no longer operating in a search ecosystem. We are operating in an answer engine ecosystem. And the data we are unpacking from the Keyhawk report, it isn't a forecast. It's not like a prediction for next year.
It's happening right now.
Yes. It is the bleeding edge reality of June 24th, 2026. We're looking at a complete AI takeover of how information is discovered, how it's structured, and how it's consumed on the web.
And frankly, if you are still playing the game of chasing position #1 on Google,
oh man,
you're playing a game that just doesn't exist anymore. It's over.
It really is. But, the distinction between a search engine and an answer engine, it feels like it could just be, I don't know, semantic posturing from tech companies, like just a new marketing buzzword.
Yeah, I get why people think that, but it's far more than a buzzword. It fundamentally alters the entire back-end architecture of human knowledge.
How so? Like, break that down for us.
Well, think about it. For decades, we operated on a system of signposts. You asked a question, and the engine, the search engine, pointed you to 10 possible destinations, 10 blue links where the answer might live.
Right, the classic page one.
Exactly. And it was up to you, the user, to travel to those destinations, evaluate the terrain, and, extract the value yourself.
You had to do the digging.
Right. But now, with an answer engine, we have moved to a system of synthesis. The engine travels to all those destinations for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it extracts the relevant data points, synthesizes them into this cohesive narrative, and just delivers the final product directly to your screen. The friction of the journey is completely eradicated.
That friction is just gone. And the blast radius of that shift, I mean, that's what we really need to comprehend here.
Yeah.
Because if we look at the immediate fallout from Google I/O 2026, which the report covers in depth.
Oh, the I/O fallout is huge.
It's massive.
Right.
It's already being viewed as the defining extinction event for traditional organic traffic. Because Google search didn't just, introduce a few new experimental features.
No, they forced it.
They aggressively forced the entire platform into what they're calling AI mode. The core interface is now completely dominated by AI overviews, these specialized information agents, and this massive push toward agentic commerce.
Right, agentic commerce. And we really should break that down because that is the mechanism driving so much of this architectural change.
Yeah, please do. Because agentic commerce sounds like a sci-fi term.
It does, but it's very real. So in standard e-commerce search, right, the engine connects your query to a product page. You click the link, you leave the search environment, you navigate the retailer's site, you add the item to your cart, and you check out.
The normal way we've all shopped for 20 years.
Exactly. But agentic commerce means the AI is actually imbued with agency to act on your behalf.
Wait, on your behalf?
Yes. So if you search for a highly specific piece of technical gear, the AI doesn't just synthesize the reviews for you. It actually interfaces with the inventory APIs of various retailers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it compares the shipping times across different stores, and it can facilitate the entire transaction layer directly within the answer engine interface itself.
So it's basically acting as your personal procurement officer.
Exactly. You never even visit the store's website.
That is wild. And these AI overviews, they're no longer just like beta features that you have to actively opt into.
No, they are omnipresent now.
Right. They are triggering on the vast majority of informational and commercial queries across the board. But here is the devastating metric from the Keyhawk report for June 24th, 2026. And this is the number that should keep every single digital strategist awake at night.
I know exactly which number you're going to say.
Yeah, you know it. Because of this aggressive shift into AI mode, organic click-through rates on those top search results have plummeted by an estimated 34.5%.
It is just a staggering data point. A 34.5% collapse in top-level organic CTR is not, a seasonal fluctuation.
Right, it's not a summer slump.
No, or a minor algorithmic tweak. It is a complete evacuation of the traditional digital economy.
It's the bypass tunnel from my billboard analogy. 1 out of every 3 potential customers or readers or clients, they're no longer clicking through to the source material.
You don't need to.
Exactly. The friction of clicking a link, opening a new tab, waiting for the DOM to load, scrolling past, 3 intrusive pop-up ads.
The recipe blogs are the worst for that.
Oh, exactly. Digging through 5 paragraphs of fluff about somebody's grandmother just to find the actual answer.
Yeah.
All of that friction is gone. The AI just hands them the answer.
Which, honestly, is incredible for the user sitting on their phone.
Oh, it's a magical user experience. But if you are the business owner whose revenue model relies on that traffic actually hitting your site, that 34.5% drop is an absolute existential threat.
Which is precisely why the winning strategies has completely inverted.
Right.
As of June 24, 2026, the holy grail of digital visibility is no longer ranking as the #1 blue link. The new imperative, the only thing that matters, is earning what the industry is calling cited in AI status.
Cited in AI.
Yeah, because the answer engine, it still needs raw material, right? These large language models do not generate facts out of thin air.
Well, when they do, it's a hallucination.
Exactly, and they want to avoid that. So they require foundational proof to synthesize their responses. Google is actively surfacing websites within AI mode, but they are surfacing them as citations.
Like footnotes.
Right, as the verified source material that is backing up the AI's claims.
Okay, I have to push back here for a second. Or at least, play devil's advocate for the business owner who is just trying to survive this landscape.
Sure, go for it.
If my organic traffic is down almost 35%, and my new goal is just to be this tiny little footnote citation at the bottom of an AI-generated paragraph. Why would I even want that?
That's a fair question.
Right. And more importantly, how do I even achieve that? Because an LLM doesn't crawl a website the way the old Googlebot did. It's not looking at my keyword density or my each one tags in the same way, is it?
No, it's not. And your skepticism is entirely justified. It cuts right to the core of the new business logic. To answer the why part of your question, why you would want to be a citation, it's because being a citation in an AI overview is currently the highest converting real estate on the web.
Wait, really? The highest converting?
Absolutely. The 65% of users who do click through those citations, they are highly, highly qualified.
Because their basic questions are already answered.
Exactly. The AI has already handled the top of funnel stuff. If they are clicking the source link, they're looking for deep engagement or a complex transaction or maybe specialized consultation. The intent funnel has been hyper compressed.
That actually makes a lot of sense. The tire kickers just read the AI answer and leave.
Right. The buyers click the citation.
Okay, so that answers the why. But to answer my second point, how do you actually achieve this? Because that requires us to look at the massive technical evolution happening under the hood right now.
It's a completely different discipline.
It really is. We have fundamentally shifted from SEO to GEO, Generative Engine Optimization.
Generative Engine Optimization.
Yeah, we are no longer optimizing for a search index. We are optimizing for ingestion by generative models, like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Claude. And this isn't some theoretical playbook for next year. The Keyhawk report makes it clear this is the baseline requirement on June 24th, 2026.
It's the cost of entry.
Right. And the primary mechanism for this, and this is where it gets incredibly fascinating to me from a purely technical standpoint, we are seeing the explosive, widespread adoption of the llms.txt file.
The llms.txt standard is arguably the most significant architectural change to site structuring since the introduction of mobile responsive design.
That's a bold statement, but I think you're right. I mean, anyone who has ever looked at a website's backend knows about robots.txt,
Right, the classic.
the foundational internet protocol. But robots.txt is essentially a bouncer at the door of your server.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it holds a little clipboard and tells web crawlers, you're not allowed in the admin folder, you cannot look at the user login pages, stay out of the shopping cart parameters.
Completely defensive.
That's a purely restrictive document.
Yeah.
But llms.txt operates on a completely different philosophy. It is not a bouncer. It is a high-end VIP concierge specifically employed to cater to large language models.
Yes. And when a generative crawler arrives at your domain, you have to realize it is incredibly resource-intensive for that bot to parse through complex CSS, heavy JavaScript frameworks, and convoluted navigation menus.
Just to find the actual text.
Right, just to extract the core semantic value of your content. But the llms.txt file acts as a direct bypass.
A bypass tunnel for the bots?
Exactly. It sits right in the root directory and explicitly tells the AI, welcome. Here is the distilled, highly structured, priority content of this domain, formatted specifically for your ingestion logic.
But wait, let's play this out logically. If I am explicitly handing the AI my most valuable distilled content on a silver platter via this llms.txt file, aren't I just giving away my intellectual property for free?
I hear this argument all the time.
Well, right. I'm literally formatting my proprietary knowledge so a trillion-dollar tech company can scrape it without even having to render my webpage.
Yeah.
And then they just serve it to a user who will never visit my site.
Where is the business logic in willingly building this VIP lounge for the bots? It is the ultimate prisoner's dilemma of the 2026 digital economy.
The prisoner's dilemma, that's exactly what it is.
The reality is that the LLMs are going to answer the user's query regardless.
Right.
If a user asks an answer engine about, say, the optimal supply chain logistics for cold storage shipping, the AI will generate a comprehensive response, period.
It won't just say, I don't know.
Exactly. So if you refuse to provide an llms.txt file because you want to protect your IP, the AI simply bypasses your domain entirely.
It just skips you.
It goes directly to your competitor, who has structured their data perfectly. The AI ingests their expertise, cites their brand as the authoritative source, and positions them as the industry leader to the end user.
Ouch.
Right. You haven't protected your IP at all. You've simply opted out of the discovery ecosystem entirely.
Wow. So it's literally a hostage situation.
Very much, yeah.
You either feed the machine exactly the way it wants to be fed, or you accept total invisibility.
Precisely. And the market has realized this. I mean, major CMS platforms and their enterprise plugins are now making llms.txt generation a default configuration.
Like WordPress plugins and things like that?
Yes. The projections from the report show it passing 30% adoption among major commercial websites by the end of this year.
30%. That's massive for a new protocol.
It's moving incredibly fast. If you are operating without it on June 24, 2026, you are throwing unnecessary friction in front of a machine that is explicitly designed to avoid friction.
And it's not just this one text file either. The actual physical content on the pages themselves has to be completely re-architected.
Oh, absolutely. The content itself has to change.
We are talking about formatting for extraction. Because, the old strategy was to bury the answer in the fourth paragraph.
Oh, the classic dwell time hack.
Like, keep the user on the page longer, make them scroll past the ads, increase the time on page metrics. But now, if you do that, the AI just gets frustrated and leaves.
It drops your relevance score immediately.
Yeah. Now, you have to provide the direct synthesized answer immediately at the very top, and it has to be supported by authoritative internal citations. And this relies heavily on structured data, specifically the massive resurgence we are seeing right now in schema markup.
Yes, JSON LD formatting is absolutely critical here.
Let's unpack that. Why does an LLM care so much about JSON LD?
Well, let's think about natural language. It is inherently ambiguous, right?
Mm-hmm.
When humans read a paragraph, we use immense amounts of contextual intuition.
Right.
So we intuitively understand that if a page says apple, It refers to the technology company and not the fruit based on the surrounding sentences.
Sure, because it's talking about phones.
Right. But while LLMs are incredible at semantic prediction, forcing them to guess context requires processing power and, more importantly, it introduces the risk of hallucination.
And they hate risk.
Exactly. JSON-LD removes the guesswork completely. It is a standardized dictionary of key-value pairs hidden in the code of the page.
It's literally machine code.
Exactly. It explicitly defines the entities on the page. It tells the bot, look, this block of text is an organization, its founder is person X, its core product is product Y, which has a price of Z.
It just hands them the raw variables.
Yes. We are seeing a massive surge in FAQ schemas, how-to schemas, and product schemas because they are highly deterministic. They provide the exact prepackaged data nodes the AI needs to construct its knowledge graph.
So we are effectively translating the human-readable internet into a deterministic, machine-readable database.
That is exactly what's happening.
But, okay, this brings up a massive operational problem. Let's say I've done all of this. Right.
Okay.
My llms.txt is flawless. My JSON-LD is perfectly mapping my entities, and I'm writing these direct, highly extractable answers. How on earth do I know if it's actually working?
The measurement problem.
Right. If 34.5% of the traffic is in the bypass tunnel, my standard analytics dashboard must be a total ghost town. I mean, I can't use a traditional traffic camera to measure a subway system.
You really can't. And this is where the industry tooling has had to undergo a violently rapid evolution.
Violent is the right word.
Because traditional rank cracking, the practice of pinging a server to see if your URL appears in position 3 or position 4 for a specific keyword string, is functionally obsolete.
Because there are no positions.
Right.
An AI overview isn't a ranked list of 10 links. It's a synthesized paragraph of text. You're either cited as a source within that generated narrative, or you don't exist. It is completely binary.
Exactly. So the most critical category of enterprise software as of June 24th, 2026 is AI visibility tracking.
AI visibility tracking.
Yes. But tracking an answer engine is a massively complex computer science challenge. You aren't scraping a static HTML page that looks the exact same for everyone.
Because the AI generates it on the fly.
Right. You have to programmatically prompt various AI models, which are non-deterministic and can vary their outputs, and then analyze the generated text to see if your brand entity is mentioned or cited.
It's the Wild West out there right now. I mean, looking at the Keyhawk report, there are dozens of startups claiming they can track this. But the reality is pretty bleak. We are looking at an analysis from Texi of 12 major visibility tracking tools, and out of those 12, only 4 have proven to work reliably under the current architecture.
Only 4. That's wild.
4. If your tech stack doesn't include Nightwatch, Semrush, Trackings.ai, or AthenaHQ, you are flying completely blind.
Let's focus on Nightwatch for a second, because they are currently leading this specific category.
Yeah, their approach is fascinating.
Their architecture really highlights the sheer scale of the problem. They're pulling daily updates across over 100,000 global locations.
100,000.
Yes, but the real breakthrough is their dedicated AI search visibility module. They are not just pinging Google anymore. They are actively prompting ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and Claude simultaneously.
By platform, by specific query, by region, it's hyper-granular.
It has to be.
They are literally mapping the frequency of your brand citations inside the black box of these different LLMs. Every serious marketing operation has ripped out their old rank trackers and installed this kind of multi-model citation tracking.
They had no choice.
But it's not just the new startups doing this. The legacy titans of the SEO industry, these massive platforms that have dominated for a decade, have had to fundamentally rebuild their core engines to survive this shift.
Yeah, the evolution of the foundational platforms provides a perfect mirror for the state of the industry right now. Look at Semrush.
Yeah, at $119.95 a month, they're still a staple.
They are still the dominant all-in-one command center. But they didn't maintain that dominance by simply, upgrading their UI or adding a few charts. They integrated deep generative AI layers directly into their data processing.
Their new Copilot AI.
Exactly. The Copilot AI is a prime example.
And we really need to clarify what Copilot AI actually is, because for the last 2 years, every SaaS company on Earth just slapped a generic chatbot onto their dashboard and called it AI.
Oh, the wrapper apps.
Exactly, just a wrapper on the OpenAI API. That is not what Semrush did.
No, not at all. The Copilot AI isn't a conversational interface where you ask it basic questions. It is an analytical processing engine.
Right.
Semrush ingests petabytes of data regarding search volume, backlink velocity, and multi-channel discovery. It is simply beyond human capacity to find meaningful anomalies in that much raw data.
A human would take years to spot a pattern.
Right, so the Copilot AI constantly analyzes those data streams in the background. It identifies subtle pattern shifts, like, say, an emerging semantic entity related to your core product, and it autonomously suggests strategic actions.
It bridges the gap between raw data and executive strategy.
Perfectly said.
And they've completely overhauled their traffic analytics, too.
Yeah.
They now provide this unified view of traditional click-based traffic
Yeah.
right alongside AI-driven discovery performance. It maps the entire fractured ecosystem.
Which you need because you have to see the tunnel and the highway at the same time.
Exactly. But then you look at their primary rival, Ahrefs, which is sitting at $99 a month, and they've taken a slightly different, incredibly hardcore technical approach.
Ahrefs has always been the absolute gold standard for backlink analysis.
Yeah, mapping the infrastructure of how the internet connects to itself.
Right. And their infrastructure capabilities in 2026 are just staggering. Their link index is now refreshing every 15 to 30 minutes for top-tier domains.
Every 15 minutes.
Let that sink in.
The entire hyperlink structure of the active internet is being recatalogued, processed, and served back to users 4 times an hour.
Which is an absolute necessity when information velocity is this high.
It really is.
But the paradigm shift is how they are utilizing AI to interpret that real-time index. They rolled out these AI-assisted Site Explorer insights.
How does that work compared to the old way?
Well, previously, an analyst would have to download spreadsheets of thousands of referring domains.
Well, the endless CSV files.
Yes. And they'd manually run pivot tables to figure out if a competitor was engaged in the toxic link-building campaign or if a sudden spike in links was organic or spam.
It took days.
Exactly. Today, the Ahrefs AI model automatically runs pattern recognition over that 15-minute index. It flags toxic network patterns, identifies unusual link velocity vectors, and surfaces immediate tactical opportunities without any human intervention.
The machine is doing all the heavy lifting of interpretation. You just get the insight handed to you.
Right.
And then, once you have the strategy from Semrush and you have the infrastructure data from Ahrefs, you actually have to execute. You have to create the actual content that goes into the llms.txt file.
The raw material.
Yeah. And this is where Surfer SEO has completely monopolized the space.
Surfer SEO is basically the bridge between human intention and algorithmic expectation.
That's a great phrase.
Because, think about it, generating 2,000 words of text is no longer a competitive advantage. Any basic LLM can do that in 4 seconds.
Right. Volume is cheap now.
Exactly. The competitive advantage is mathematical optimization.
Right. Surfer's core engine relies on incredibly sophisticated natural language processing, or NLP. When you are constructing a page, Surfer is simultaneously analyzing the actual real-time vectors of the top-performing entities for that specific topic.
It calculates semantic proximity.
Yes. It doesn't just say, use this keyword 5 times. It says, the models expect the entity of electric vehicles to be closely mapped to the concepts of lithium-ion degradation and charging infrastructure.
And if you don't have those bridges,
If your text lacks those semantic bridges, you will not be cited, period.
it forces the creator to structure their headings, their JSON LD, and their prose into a mathematically ideal format for machine extraction.
It literally scores your content against the algorithmic landscape in real time.
It does.
And this is where, honestly, when I was prepping for this, I had to stop reading the research and just stare at the wall for a minute.
I had the exact same reaction.
Because let's look at the logical loop we just constructed here. We have Semrush's AI identifying the strategic gap.
Right.
We have Ahrefs AI mapping the link infrastructure. We have an LLM writing the initial draft. We have Surfer's AI mathematically scoring and adjusting the semantics of that draft. And then we have Nightwatch's AI tracking whether Google's answer engine AI decided to cite it.
That's all AI.
These are incredibly sophisticated, multi-billion-dollar AI systems that humans are using to optimize content solely so that other AI systems can ingest it.
It is a perfectly closed, autonomous loop. We have built an architecture where machines are explicitly optimizing for machines.
But, I mean, if the AI is doing the tracking, the data interpretation, the strategic planning, the semantic scoring, and the actual reading, why are humans even in the middle of this process in June 2026?
Well, that's the thing. We increasingly aren't.
Right? If the entire pipeline is machine readable and machine executable, isn't the logical endgame just total automation?
That is the exact threshold the industry is crossing right now. And it leads directly to the explosive rise of autonomous SEO assistants.
The autonomous bots.
Yes. We are moving past AI as a tool and entering the era of AI as an agent.
This is where the reality of the web gets very, very surreal, because we are looking at a new category of software led by platforms like OTTO SEO. And these aren't just, advanced grammar checkers.
No, not at all.
They represent a fundamental displacement of human labor in digital marketing.
Absolutely. An agentic platform like OTTO SEO operates with continuous autonomous oversight of your domain.
It never clocks out.
It does not sleep. It does not require a prompt to begin working. It sits on your server, constantly monitoring the live search landscape and your technical health.
Okay, so what happens when it finds an issue?
Well, if it detects a shift in search behavior or maybe a new semantic gap identified by systems like Surfer, it initiates a workflow entirely on its own.
It just starts working.
It finds the gap, it determines the required entity structure, it generates the JSON LD, and it writes the content using multi-model routing.
Okay, we have to talk about that multi-model routing because that is brilliant.
It is highly efficient. These platforms don't rely on a single monolithic brain. A system like Ahrefs or Writesonic, which, by the way, is running a massive $249 a month professional autonomous tier right now.
$249 a month. Wow.
Yeah, they will dynamically route different tasks to the LLM best suited for the specific job.
So it's playing them off each other.
Exactly. It might use GPT-4 to structure the logical arguments and build the JSON LD schema because it's great at logic.
Right.
Then it seamlessly hands off the prose generation to Claude because Claude has a more natural semantic variance and sounds less robotic.
Sure, Claude is a better rater.
And then it might use Gemini to pull in real-time data integrations.
Then it compiles the asset, it optimizes it against the real-time NLP scores until it hits mathematical perfection, formats it for the llms.txt extraction layer, and physically publishes it to your CMS.
No human intervention required.
No human ever pressed a button. The machine noticed a weakness, built a weapon, and deployed it.
That's a great way to summarize it.
We have shifted digital publishing from a manual creative craft into a fully automated industrial assembly line. You just turn the factory on and walk away.
But this is where we encounter the most critical danger of this new paradigm.
Right, because the Keyhawk report explicitly warns about this.
They do, because if you turn the factory on and walk away, you initiate a catastrophic feedback loop.
The dead internet theory.
Exactly. Think about it. If I have OTTO running on my site and my competitor has Ahrefs running on theirs and a third guy has Writesonic running, what happens to the internet?
It just becomes an echo chamber.
We experience the dead internet theory in real time. Every domain is deploying autonomous agents that are all using the same baseline LLMs, right? They are optimizing against the exact same NLP algorithms. They are structuring their data into the exact same JSON LL formats. The output becomes mathematically flawless but entirely hollow.
You generate tens of thousands of pages of perfectly structured noise.
Yes. There is no unique vector of insight.
It's just robots talking to robots in an empty room, aggressively agreeing with each other.
Precisely. If you automate without a central, unique strategic vision, you lose the signal completely.
Human oversight is critical.
It's mandatory. An autonomous agent can easily achieve a perfect 100 on a Surfer NLP score. But if the content contains absolutely zero novel information, if it offers no unique perspective or first-hand data, it is utterly useless to the end user.
And more importantly, the answer engines have realized this.
Oh, they definitely have.
Which brings us to the ultimate million-dollar question of this entire deep dive. Let's put all the pieces together for a second.
Let's do it.
It is June 24th, 2026. Everyone has access to this tech. Everyone has perfectly formatted llms.txt files. Everyone has 15-minute AI index tracking from Ahrefs. Everyone has autonomous bots generating flawless semantic structures. The technical playing field has been completely ruthlessly leveled.
It's table stakes now.
Right. So when the Google answer engine receives a query, it has to choose between 500 mathematically perfect bot-generated articles to cite in its AI overview. What is the tiebreaker?
That is the question.
How does anyone stand out in a perfectly optimized machine ecosystem?
The answer is beautifully counterintuitive.
I love this part.
In an ecosystem dominated by synthetic perfection, the ultimate competitive moat, the single most powerful algorithmic tiebreaker, is unassailable, demonstrable human authenticity.
The human element. After all this tech talk, it all comes back to the human.
It has to.
Let's unpack the mechanics of this because we have to look at EAT. experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
EEAT.
Right. For years, Google published these EAT guidelines, and they were mostly treated as like philosophical best practices by SEOs.
Yeah, nice to have.
But the reality today, as of June 2026, is that EEAT signals have been hardened into concrete algorithmic pillars.
They had to be hardened. The answer engines are facing an existential crisis of liability and user trust.
Especially regarding YMYL topics, right? Your money or your life.
Exactly. These are queries related to medical advice, financial investments, legal issues, emergency safety, high-stakes stuff.
Right. Because if the AI generates an overview telling someone to mix the wrong household chemicals based on a hallucination from some bot-generated blog,
Yeah.
the fallout is catastrophic.
The liability is immense. Therefore, the models have been aggressively tuned to heavily weight authoritative brand and entity signals before synthesizing an answer.
So they won't just trust a new domain.
No. The AI is not going to cite a perfectly optimized 3,000-word medical guide that an autonomous agent generated on a brand new domain yesterday. It lacks the entity authority.
It has no history.
Right. The AI looks for off-page validation. Is this author cited in academic journals? Does this brand have a multi-year history of digital PR? Are there active, verifiable human networks discussing this entity in a positive light?
So digital PR and SEO are now literally the exact same discipline.
100%. You cannot hack your way into the answer engine with clever JSON LD alone. You actually have to be a recognized, trusted authority in the real world.
This is the core of entity SEO.
Yes, entity SEO.
We have transitioned from optimizing strings of text to optimizing things.
Yeah.
Real-world entities.
Exactly. You are mapping your human expertise into a knowledge graph. You are establishing digital proof that a specific, experienced human being is the source of this information.
And the data proving that the algorithms are desperately seeking this human signal is absolutely staggering. When you look at the Ahrefs analysis from the report regarding the explosion in UGC,
User-generated content. This is the smoking gun right here.
it really is.
Yeah.
According to the data right now, on June 24, 2026, Reddit is generating over 1 billion organic visits per month directly from Google search.
It's hard to even comprehend that scale.
1 billion.
And context is critical here. That represents a 603% increase in traffic since June of 2023.
A 603% increase. And Quora is up 379% in that exact same window.
Yep.
That kind of traffic redirection at the hands of Google's algorithm is not an accident. It's a deliberate structural rerouting of the internet's attention. Why? Why pipe a billion users into Reddit forums?
Because Google's engineers saw the writing on the wall.
They saw the dead internet coming.
Exactly. They realized that if their answer engines only synthesized data from perfectly sanitized AI-generated corporate blogs, the quality of the product would collapse. The models would begin training on synthetic data, eating their own exhaust, and losing all connection to reality.
Model collapse.
Right. They need the messy, unpredictable vector of human experience to provide actual value to the user.
That makes total sense, because when a user searches for, say, is the new suspension on the 2026 Bronco actually good for road crawling?
Right. Highly specific.
They do not want a mathematically optimized 100-score surfer article summarizing the manufacturer's press release. They want to hear from a guy named Dave in Colorado who bought the truck, took it to Moab, broke the axle, and posted blurry cell phone pictures of the damage.
Yes, exactly. The human user craves nuance, frustration, passion, and lived experience.
The real stuff.
But LLMs flatten nuance by design. They seek the mathematical average of a topic. Reddit and Quora, they provide the unflattened, raw human signal. That is why the algorithm has been forced to elevate UGC nodes so aggressively in the knowledge graph.
It is the ultimate irony of the modern web. I'm looking at this entire landscape, the 34.5% drop in organic traffic, the llms.txt VIP lounges, the autonomous agents churning out millions of words a minute, and the conclusion is profound.
It really is.
In a digital world entirely dominated by AI crawlers, AI content editors, and AI answer engines, the single most valuable competitive advantage you can possibly possess is to be unapologetically, authentically human.
You can't out-robot the robot.
You literally cannot out-robot the robots. The technology is commoditized. The only way to win the game today is to out-human them.
That is the exact reality of the landscape. Flawless syntax, optimal semantic density, perfect schema markup. These are merely the baseline cost of entry in 2026. The only scarce resource remaining on the internet is genuine, verifiable human insight.
Wow. We have covered an immense amount of ground today, and we need to pull all these threads together for everyone listening. We started by grounding ourselves in the harsh reality of this specific date, June 24,
The
2026.
extinction event.
Right. We examined the mass extinction of the blue link, driven by Google's total pivot to AI mode and agentic commerce, resulting in that devastating 34.5% evaporation of top-tier click-through traffic. We watched the billboard traffic divert into the bypass tunnel.
And then we explored the necessary technical response to that.
Yeah.
We analyzed Generative Engine Optimization, the critical architecture of the llms.txt file, and why providing deterministic, structured data like JSON-LD is the only way to earn citation visibility from these models.
We looked at how the enterprise tools have adapted, from Nightwatch tracking multi-model LLM citations to Semrush's Copilot AI finding anomalies to Ahrefs' crazy 15-minute real-time index and Surfer's mathematical NLP scoring.
The whole stack.
And we saw how platforms like OTTO are closing the loop, turning content generation into an autonomous, faceless assembly line.
But crucially, we concluded that this synthetic automation has created a massive premium on authenticity.
The human moat.
Right. The algorithms have pivoted to fiercely protect EEAT signals, driving 1 billion visits a month to human networks like Reddit because lived experience is the one variable the machines cannot synthesize.
So if you are listening to this, whether you are the CMO of a massive global enterprise or a solo creator running a highly specialized niche business, your true enduring value lies entirely in your unique firsthand perspective. That is your shield. It's your only shield.
But, and this is the tightrope we are all walking, you must pair that authentic human soul with the exact, precise machine syntax we discussed.
You can't just have one or the other.
Exactly.
Yep.
You must wrap your humanity in llms.txt files and entity SEO so the machines can actually parse your value.
It is the necessary marriage of the human soul and machine syntax. Without the soul, you are noise. Without the syntax, you are invisible.
I couldn't have summarized it better myself. Well, before we sign off from this June 24, 2026 deep dive, I want to leave you, the listener, with one final lingering thought to unpack on your own.
I love these. Let's hear it.
We have spent this entire session discussing how we must format our digital environments to feed these machines. We are building VIP directories, stripping away ambiguity, and perfectly structuring our thoughts into key value pairs just so the algorithms can understand us without friction.
Right, making ourselves readable.
But if these AI models are increasingly desperate for authentic, messy human experiences to generate their answers, while at the exact same time, we humans are actively restructuring all of our natural expression into highly specific deterministic schemas just to ensure the AI will listen to us.
Oh, wow.
Are we successfully teaching the machines how to understand human nuance? Or are we slowly, voluntarily conditioning human expression to fit perfectly inside the rigid mind of a machine?